This is the Ramana Maharshi Satsang. I'm reading and commenting on verses from the Ashtavakra Gita. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself. I'm not a guru or a teacher. Ramana Maharshi's teaching of non-duality is deep and profound, and I want to share it. I'm reading and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita, an important Nidhyasana text of Advaita Vedanta. It focuses on deep contemplation and meditation to bring what is read into your direct experience. Today, from chapter 18, verses 73 to 76. Until self-realization, illusion prevails. The sage lives without thoughts of I or mine. His connection to illusion is severed. What is knowledge? What is the universe? What are thoughts like I am the body or the body is mine? The sage is imperishable and sorrowless. He is self alone. When a weak man gives up meditation, he falls prey to whims and desires. Even hearing truth, the man of dull intellect holds to illusion. Through effort and suppression, he may appear outwardly composed, but inside he craves the world. So let's break these verses down. 1873. Until self-realization, illusion prevails. The sage lives without thoughts of I or mine. His connection to illusion is severed. This verse points directly to the truth that illusion, the mistaken belief in separation, continues until you realize the true nature as the self. Once you no longer see yourself as an individual ego, the sense of ownership vanishes. The sage, knowing the self, no longer clings to identity or possessions. He lives from pure awareness, not from the shifting thoughts of I or mine. This verse draws a stark line between knowing and not knowing the self. Until there is direct insight into what you truly are, every thought, even the noble or spiritual ones, operate within illusion. That includes thoughts like, I am meditating, I want peace, or even my path. You're being invited to stop taking ownership of experience. When that ownership is dropped, not through force, but through insight and knowledge, there's nothing left to bind you to illusion. You don't have to fix thoughts or manage them. You only need to stop claiming them. This verse shows you what freedom looks like. A quiet absence of self-reference, not indifference, but a clear seeing. 1874. What is knowledge? What is the universe? What are thoughts like I am the body or the body is mine? The sage is imperishable and sorrowless. He is self alone. This verse strips away all the concepts that we usually take for granted: knowledge, the universe, our identity. It points out that these are thoughts, not reality. The sage is free from these ideas. He doesn't define himself through learning, the world, or the body. He abides in something prior to all that, pure being. He is the self, untouched by sorrow or decay. This verse dismantles your entire frame of reference. It's not asking you to replace bad thoughts with spiritual thoughts. It's pointing to, to the fact that all thoughts, including your best definitions, are still thoughts. Even noble ideas about the universe or wisdom fall short. The self isn't something you can think yourself into. So this verse asks you to recognize what remains when no thought is taken to be true. When you stop believing that you are the body, suffering has no foothold. The sage is not someone who knows more. He's someone who has stopped believing anything that can change. You're being shown where lasting peace is found and where it isn't. 1875. When a weak man gives up meditation, he falls prey to whims and desires. This verse is a clear warning. If the mind isn't rooted in clarity, abandoning meditation allows distraction to take over. The so-called weak man hasn't established direct recognition of the self. Without that ground, he gets pulled by passing urges, moods, and wants. It's not discipline for its own sake, but because without it, illusion gains strength. This verse doesn't moralize or shame. It points to something very simple. Without inner stability, you'll be dragged by outer pulls. Until the inside of the self is steady, meditation serves as a thread connecting you to what is silent and changeless. If you drop it too soon, especially when things feel messy, the mind will instinctively chase something else. This verse is urging you to stay with what's quiet, even when desire arises. Not to push desire away, but to see it and let it burn out on its own. Practice isn't about suppression, it's about not being fooled. Meditation helps you stop reaching outward when peace is already here within you. 1876. Even hearing truth, the man of dull intellect holds to illusion. Through effort and suppression, he may appear outwardly composed, but inside he craves the world. Ashtavakra in this verse is unflinchingly honest. Simply hearing the truth is not enough. If there is no clarity, illusion remains, even if you behave calmly or spiritually. Suppressing desire doesn't free you. It hides what's unresolved. The person may seem peaceful, but inside there's still a hunger for distraction, status, or identity. This verse exposes superficial calm as hollow. This verse is especially humbling. It reminds you that truth isn't a performance. You can hear the most beautiful teachings, repeat them, even seem calm. But if you're still chasing something inside, the illusion is unbroken. The key isn't effort or restraint. It's clarity. It's self-knowledge. You can't fake your way into peace. You have to look clearly at what you're still attached to and why. This verse shows you the cost of pretending to be free before you are. You're not being condemned. You're being invited to stop the show. It's a call to be honest, not with others, but with yourself. If you can see where craving still lives, you're already moving towards truth. These verses call you to radical honesty and direct self-recognition. They reveal that until you know yourself beyond all concepts, illusion persists, no matter how calm or knowledgeable you appear to be. So now we have a satsang discourse by Nome, Knowledge of Reality.
You, the Absolute Self, are the reality. The yearning to know what is real naturally shines forth from your own being, the reality, because of its illimitable bliss. in every experience, in every idea, there is the attempt to know that which is. But what actually is? It is not possible to know what is without taking into account the nature of the knower. Whatever be the definition of the knower, undoubtedly affects what is considered to be the known. So if the knower is considered, that is, yourself is considered, to be a body, to be the senses, then the world is considered to be what is. The world of phenomenal objects. If the definition of oneself is the mind, then whatever is conceived is also considered to be what is. Even the very idea that there is something, whatever it may be, something objective, is determined by the sense of I. That is, the this aspect of your experience, in whatever way it may appear, gross, subtle, mental, is determined by identification as an I, an individual who can conceive or who can perceive. So to know what is real, to know the real existence as it is, you must know yourself first. And if yourself is known as it is, in its undifferentiated being, consciousness, bliss, without boundary, fathomless and unchanging, then is there anything else to be known? The oneness of your existence is forever unfractured, undifferentiated. Differentiation is merely a product of imagination. Ignorance makes that which is real appear as if unreal, so the Absolute Self does not seem apparent. And the same ignorance makes that which is unreal appear as real. And that is regarded as what is from the standpoint of delusion. To put an end to illusion, put an end to delusion. To put an end to delusion, seek the knowledge of yourself. If you treat the knowledge of yourself, or the self itself, as if it were an object apart from you, such is only a mental image. Rather, truly seek self-knowledge, inquiring as the Maharshi has taught, within yourself, in a non-objective manner, to find out, within yourself, the answer to the question, who am I? Examine your experience and see how what you regard as your identity goes into the very fabric of whatever you regard as existing. Thereby the existence itself is not known, even though it alone exists, and that which is unreal appears to be known, though it has no actual existence whatsoever. First and foremost, know yourself. Question yourself deeply. Who am I? Discard from your sense of identity that which is not truly yourself, what appears objectively, what is sporadic, that is, what is not eternal, and what has birth and death. Free from identification with the body, you can know that which truly is. Free from identification with the senses, no longer taking the senses to be the determinants of reality, you can know that which is. Free of the mind as the inconceivable is the realm of true knowledge, and with that knowledge you can know that which is. Free of the very notion of I, the falsely assumed sense of individuality, you can know the reality, and the you that knows is the reality, with no distinction, no difference, no particularization. One, infinite, eternal, being consciousness bliss. Brahman is. If you have the idea, I know it, inquire, who knows it? If you have the idea, I don't know it, inquire, who doesn't know it? If you have the idea, I know it but I do not know it, inquire into that one as well. And if you have any doubts about it, as Sri Bhagavan says, first doubt the doubter. Knowledge of the self, therefore, is that in which reality comprehends itself. No ego is involved in this. So ask yourself, who am I?
And now we'll take a few minutes and inquire ourselves. You exist. Notice that you exist, and you know that you exist. And now investigate within yourself. Inquire, can I be aware of thoughts without identifying as the thinker? What remains if I no longer believe I am the body? What happens when I stop being inwardly watchful? Am I trying to control my desires, or am I seeing their emptiness? Who am I? What am I? What is the nature of my existence? What actually exists? What is real? All right. And we'll close with a chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. All right. What did you get from the verses today?
What are you if you stop thinking? What was that first question you asked? That was really good. Thank you.
I appreciate the questions too, just like you do.
Where, where do you get those from? I think that's probably the most profound key to this whole experience, those questions.
I come up with them each week from the verses. I look at the four verses, and there are four questions, one for each verse.
Yeah,
And I do it that way because to really know these things requires meditation and looking within, not
yeah.
looking into your mind. The looking in your mind helps along the way.
Amen. So true. I think that strategy of asking questions like that really, really is almost should be universal in any sort of exercise like we're doing.
Hmm.
There should be long periods of silence.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is what is guided meditation, Robert, right?
Yes.
Right, Robert, you've experienced that before?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
I
But I
figured you
had
had.
what I haven't experienced it, where I haven't experienced it, is my experience with non-duality, with Advaita Vedanta. I haven't experienced it in that, but and it was it it was a what I want to say is this strategy, this way of learning is
The approach.
much more conducive to me than
Yeah.
anything else. Anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually the silence is the most important part.
No, I think it's
Mhm.
your questions. I think the gift is silence, but your questions are the real genius. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for letting us share.
Well, namaste. It's good to see all of you and join together with you in this practice. So, namaste. And see you next week.
Namo
Stay,
Ramanaya.
stay healthy, mate. Stay healthy. The world needs you, mate.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Richards. Namo
Thank you all.
Adios.
Ramanaya.